Blackhawks win 2-0 against the Winnipeg Jets in Jonathan Toews' return to the United Center. What a game. So much to get into with this one. Such an emotional game, too. And just to top it all off with a really, really well-deserved, well-played victory from the Blackhawks. And Spencer Knight gets his third shutout of the season. 32 saves. What a performance from Spencer Knight. The whole team played really, really well in Jonathan Toews' return. And as much as, you know, you want to see Jonathan Toews be successful, this is the one night that you don't want to see him have an impact on the score sheet. And the Hawks were able to keep him off of it. So all around, just a really good game. A lot to get into. Hawks improved to 20, 22, and 7 on the season. Welcome back to the Blackhawks post-game show. My name is Ryan McGregor. If you're new here, I do a post-game show after every single Chicago Blackhawks game, win or lose. This happens to be a really good win. This is going to be an exciting one, but yeah, if you want in-depth analysis after every single Blackhawks game, win or lose, this is the place to be. So hit subscribe. Um, yeah, really great game. Going into this one, they announced last minute that Andre Burakovsky's not going to play. I didn't actually find out what the exact reasoning was. My assumption was that Jeff Blashill sees what we've all seen lately, which is not good hockey out of Andre Burakovsky. So I think he was scratched for that reason. I heard someone say he was sick. I didn't see any confirmation on that. So maybe he was sick. I don't know. But either way, he wasn't playing. So you're down Burakovsky, still Teravainen with the upper body injury. And of course, Frank Nazar, who I've heard could possibly return Thursday in Carolina. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And Taves returns. And a little stat going into the game, the Hawks power play was 0 for 7 in its last 3 games heading in to this one. So it's kind of something I wanted to keep an eye on. Um, Top line stayed the same, second line stayed the same. Only change is Lafferty comes in on that fourth line, and Slaggert gets the shot with Moore and Lardis. I didn't know how to feel about that going in, but it actually ended up working out pretty well, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, first period I liked just like when Kane first came back. I liked out of Bedard. You saw him kind of try to throw the body a little bit on Jonathan Taves, which I thought was really funny, and I really enjoyed that. One thing I did notice too, I've been trying to keep an eye on every line's first shift, and I think if every line can have all 4 lines can have a good first shift, it sets the pace for the game. And tonight proved my theory right. Every line, lines 1 through 4, they all had really strong opening shifts tonight, and it led to a 2-0 victory. So that proved that theory right. So I think it's big, and I think that's something Jeff Blashill has also spoken on is just having a good first shift. It really does set the tone for the rest of the game. In Chicago, they were better defensively to start this game than they have been recently. They still were a little passive in their own end, but I also attribute that to the Jets are really good at protecting the puck in the offensive zone. That's something I noticed tonight. They have really good puck protection, especially along the wall. As you combine that with Chicago being maybe a little bit passive. Um, I definitely noticed that. But pretty early on, the Hawks get a 5-on-3 for a minute 23. Um, Oliver Moore drew that second penalty with a little partial break there, and he drew the holding call. Um, the Hawks just can't get anything going on it, though, and credit again to the Jets. They did a really good job of keeping the Hawks to the outside, shutting down uh, in tight. So credit to the Jets for that. The Hawks also kind of just, I thought they could have maybe shot the puck a little bit more. I feel like they were maybe looking for that perfect opportunity on the 5-on-3. Blashill ends up calling a timeout with 18 seconds left just to let the big guys rest a little bit, and they lose the draw, and that pretty much does it for the 5-on-3. They have to kill a penalty in the first period. Penalty kill looked really good in the first period. Um, and because of that, because Ryan Green was on the penalty kill, after the penalty kill, the first line goes out, but you get Lardis on the first line with Bedard and Bertuzzi. Obviously, Green was just out on the penalty kill, and I noticed that, and I kind of wish they did a little bit more. I'd like to see Lardis get occasional shots on that top line with Bedard. Nothing really came of it, and it was the only time I really noticed it tonight. So you come out of the first period, shots are 12-12. Power play is 0 for 2, penalty kills 1 for 1. So not much to complain about after that first period. It was a pretty tight checking, even game throughout most of it. Um, and then you get to the second period, and I noticed right off the bat, they came out a lot better offensively in the second period. They were forechecking really well, creating turnovers. They were shooting the puck a lot, and just because of that, I felt they were having to defend less, just because of how much better they were and how much more aggressive they were offensively. And Bedard's line got some chances. The second line with Donato, Dickinson, Mikheyev, I thought they had a really, really strong game. One thing Donato did that I really didn't like, I'll get to because it was near the end of the game, but otherwise I thought that line had a really good game, and they ended up scoring a goal. Um, Face off in the Hawk zone, defensive zone draw. Dickinson wins the draw back, goes straight up the ice. Donato gets the puck in the left corner, a long flipper all the way to the Winnipeg blue line. Dickinson corrals it, and I think he surprised Hellebuck with that shot. It was a laser of a wrist shot, top right corner, I believe, over the shoulder of Hellebuck, and I think he caught Hellebuck by surprise with that one. I mean, one, I don't know if he was expecting him to even shoot the puck from there because he was pretty close to the blue line, pretty far away, especially for a wrist shot. Um, Two, I don't think he was expecting a shot that well placed and that hard. And three, I think there was a little bit of a screen. I think Dickinson used the defender for a little bit of a screen. So I think combination of those three things is why that shot went in. But credit to Dickinson and credit to Ryan Donato for that long flip pass. It was really, really nice. Um, yeah, second period goes on again. The Hawks really started playing well in the second period. They were the better team in the second period. I think it's pretty safe to say that. Oliver Moore was flying. Bedard got thrown on a couple shifts with Moore and Lardis. I thought that was pretty fun. Power play gets another shot. This time it looked a little bit better. Still went 0 for 3 on the night. Um, Again, you just want to see some conversion, especially the power play having gone over 7 over the last 3 games. Now you add another 0 for 3. Now they're 0 for 10 over the last 4 games. That's obviously not something you want to see, especially from a power play that for most of this season has been top 10, even top 8 amongst the standings. So you end the second period. Although I did say the Hawks were the better team, Winnipeg has the edge in shots at 21-19 at the end of the second period, and I think the difference in this one was, or sorry, I completely missed. I think the difference in this period was goaltending. Both teams had good looks. I think the Hawks had more quality looks, and they were just able to beat Hellebuck one time, and Knight shut the door every chance they got. And the Jets did earn their chances. One thing that I admired about the Jets was that they did a really good job of driving the net. Like the Hawks were trying to keep them boxed out, but they did a really good job of bringing the puck to the net, driving the puck to the net, getting traffic in front of the net, and making it hard for Knight and the defense pairings for the Blackhawks. So credit to the Jets for that. But again, Knight had all the answers. And it was kind of domination in the second period offensively was kind of back and forth. I think Chicago had a little bit more. Um, but again, it all came down to Knight had the answer for Winnipeg's chances and one got by Hellebuck. So you go to the third period, 1-0 Hawks lead, and this is a position that the Hawks might have been in before a few times near the beginning of the season, but it's not a position they've been in lately. Going into the third period up and let alone only up 1-0. It's certainly not a position they've been in a lot recently. And they shut it down. They did go for some offense at the beginning of the period. Um, that didn't last very long. Winnipeg pushed pretty early. Winnipeg started pushing hard with about 15 minutes to go. And Chicago just full full shutdown. Um, so yeah, credit to them. They got the job done. And two things from that third period I want to point out. Slaggert had two grade A chances at the beginning of that third period. And that's what happens. I put it out on Twitter. That's what happens when you put somebody with Lardis and Moore. That's a credit to how no matter who's on that line with Lardis and Moore, they find a way to create offense. And those two had another really, really good game. Lardis was all over it tonight. He was physical tonight. And one thing that really stood out to me with Moore was obviously his speed is a factor every night. His aggressiveness on the puck is a factor every night. His playmaking is a factor every night. He was shooting the puck tonight. But one thing he did tonight was he drew two penalties just using his speed. One was that partial break holding penalty on Shen to create the 5-on-3, give you a minute and a half of 5-on-3 time. And the other one was he used his speed to blow through the neutral zone and he drew a tripping penalty. So two penalties tonight that he drew using his speed, which is just another. It's kind of the same praise we gave Frank Nazar a lot last season and at the beginning of this season. His speed, he draws a lot of penalties. So that was really good on Moore tonight. I thought Moore had a good game. That Moore Lardis Slaggert line was really really good. Um, and it's gonna make it all that much harder to send Slaggert down when when this lineup is healthy again because I think he's gonna be the odd one out. I think he has to be. Um, one thing I didn't like, one thing Ryan Donato did that really pissed me off tonight was with 13 and a half to go, he gets the puck deep. Something happens. I don't know what. He gets his feelings hurt and 200 feet away from his own zone, nowhere near the puck, he decides to take a hack, a slash at the Jets player, and he gets a penalty for losing his temper. So he puts the team shorthanded with 13 and a half to go in a one-goal game in the third period. I did not appreciate that at all. I thought that was a really, really selfish dumb penalty to take on Ryan Donato's behalf. Luckily, the team killed it. The penalty kill was 2 for 2 tonight. The penalty kill is good pretty much every night. So luckily they killed it, but I really didn't like to see that from Ryan Donato in what otherwise was a really, really strong game from Ryan Donato. He was really physical. He was turning pucks over. He had a couple looks, a couple nice passes. I thought he was fine defensively. So other than that, Ryan Donato had a good game. But yeah, that penalty was that can't happen. And I know Jeff Blashill or one of the coaches is gonna say something to him. I don't even think they need to. I'm sure he knows what he did. I'm sure he's apologizing to the bench after that penalty and thanking the penalty killers for that one. So yeah, Hawks shut it down. Hawks don't let anything um, go in, and near the end of the game, they were doing a really good job of clogging up the neutral zone, clogging up their own blue line, and not letting Winnipeg attack off the rush. Winnipeg was getting all their chances off of the cycle, off of getting pucks from low to high on net. Hawks weren't giving them anything off the rush, which is really good because the Jets are good when you have guys like Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele. Um, that's a team that can attack off the rush, and the Hawks did a really good job of shutting that down. Um, just overall a really good game. Can't give enough credit to Spencer Knight in this one. Like I said, 32 save shutout for Spencer Knight tonight. He played really well. He was the first star of the game. Dickinson was the second star, and then Alex Vlasic, 2 assists and a +2 tonight, was the third star of the game. So a really good night. Also for Alex Vlasic, that Dickinson Mikheyev duo there was a +2. Bedard had 3 shots on goal which was good. He had a couple really good looks. He had one of those kind of pull back toe drag release that just missed the net. That would have been beautiful if that went in. Um, yeah, so just a really good game all around. Colton Bach had 3 hits. Colton Bach I thought was pretty effective tonight. Um, I gotta check the face-off stats. I didn't write them down before this recap or this post game here. So let me go into the face-off percentages. That's Winnipeg. I don't want to look at Winnipeg. I want to look at Chicago. This is really unprofessional. I should have done this beforehand. Jason Dickinson, 66% on the draw. Ryan Green, 60%. Oliver Moore, 57%. Nick Foligno, 50%. And then Lafferty and Bertuzzi combined 3 faceoffs. They lost them all. So everybody that took more than 2 faceoffs tonight was above 50%. So that is really good to see from a team that has struggled in the faceoff dot historically, not just this year. In the past, they've struggled in the faceoff dot. The emergence of Bedard becoming a better two-way player has helped. Ryan Green has helped, and Oliver Moore has helped too. They've been good on the draw. So, after every game, I take to Twitter and ask if there are any questions. So go follow me over on Twitter. It's in the bottom. I want to say this corner. Go follow me over there. And after every game I post, if there's any questions, you can always ask questions about the game and I'll answer them here on the show. Or you can just shoot me a tweet at any point throughout the game with a question, even in the first or second period, and I'll be sure to answer it on the show. So we have one question from Annie today. The question is thoughts on the Green Bedard Bertuzzi line, and what about Burakovsky if they keep that line? Um, I liked it. I mean, I put out another tweet before the game tonight, what I would want the Hawks lines to look like when they're healthy again, when Tavo's back, when Nazar's back. And I said that initially I would want Bertuzzi back on that line with Nazar and Teravainen, but I also think that Bertuzzi and Bedard have such a good chemistry, and they both are playing their best hockey, I think, when they're on the same line. And also just the evidence of, the same lineup for the past 3 or 4 games. You lose three straight, you lose four in a row at home. You switch it up, and now you get a 2-0 win, a textbook perfect win. So I think that's a strong case to keep those two together because those two were a big part of this win. They didn't uh I mean, Bedard did have the empty net goal, but they didn't factor in on anything on a goalie. But I thought they were really, really good tonight, and so that's a case of keeping those two together. And as far as when Burakovsky comes back, I mean, there's room on the second line. Like if you have Nazar come back, he's your second line center. Then you can put, say, I mean, I would like to see if you are putting Bertuzzi on the top line with Bedard and Ryan, it's got to be Ryan Green. You can't take Ryan Green off that top line. If you're doing that, then I would say on the second line, it'd be nice to have Nazar down the middle, obviously, Burakovsky on the right, and then I would like to see Donato actually on the left. Give Donato another crack in the top six. And the reason I say that isn't so much because of how he's playing. He did have a really good game tonight, like I said, except for that one stupid penalty. Um, Other than that, he had a really good game. But I think it's more so I would love to see more Lardis and Teravainen stay together on that third line because that trio has worked really well. And again, like I said earlier, it almost doesn't matter who you put with Moore and Lardis. Ideally, someone who can be a little bit more responsible defensively. But I don't think it really matters. I think they're able to be successful no matter who's on that line, and I think they're able to make whoever's on that line look better. Um, but with that being said, Teravainen, I think, really rounded out that line, that trio. So, if you're keeping Bertuzzi with Bedard and Green, I think you slot Burakovsky on that second line, right side. Maybe Donato. Uh, I liked when Colton Dach was in the top six. That might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I really like Colton Dach. Not permanently in the top six, but I like him getting his looks in the top six. Because I'd want that Teravainen and more Lardis line to stay together. So. That's what I would do if they're going to keep Bedard, or sorry, Bertuzzi on that top line with Bedard. I do think at some point you go back to Burakovsky because I also at the same time think that Nazar played his best hockey when he had Teravainen and Bertuzzi on his line. I mean, at the beginning of the season, before Bedard really started heating up, that was our best line at the beginning of the season and also at the tail end of last season. So I think you also can't go wrong putting that line back together. And if you do that, then I think you give Burakovsky his spot back on that top line with Bedard because he hasn't been bad for that long. I mean, he was playing really good hockey with Connor Bedard before Bedard went down with the injury. So there's a lot you can do. Yeah, there's a lot of combinations, but I definitely wouldn't be opposed to keeping Bertuzzi up there for a while and slotting Burakovsky down on that second line. I'm going in circles at this point, just saying the same thing over and over again. So yeah, one thing before we the Taves video tribute. It was really really good. Um, and what I thought was cool, and I was curious to see going into it was the ovation. How is it going to be compared to Patrick Kane's? Is it going to be longer? Is it going to be shorter? Is he going to do laps like Kane did? I actually thought, I don't know why this is dumb in hindsight now, but I actually thought Kane was going to get a bigger ovation. Um, but he didn't. Taves is at least on TV. It sounded louder. People in the arena did say it was louder. Um, it was longer. He did an extra lap. I believe he did four. I think Kane did three. It was longer. You had the Johnny chant after, and I'll be honest, I got a little bit emotional. My eyes watered a little bit. Um, I was always a Patrick Kane guy. Growing up in the dynasty years, I was a Patrick Kane. I mean, I love them both, obviously, but I was a Patrick Kane guy. He was my guy. He was my favorite player. Um, but I've always loved Jonathan Toews, obviously, like every Hawks fan, and I had the pleasure of meeting him in Chicago back in at the beginning of 2020, just before the COVID shutdown. It was in February. Um, and for those of you who don't know, I don't live in Chicago, so I traveled out there to see a few games, and I thought, well, I'm there, I might as well try to meet some of the players, and I ended up getting to meet Jonathan Toews, and I met him once. He was the nicest guy. Took a picture with me, signed my hat. I told him I had traveled from afar, and he was asking me questions. Just super nice guy. And then the icing on the cake, the next day, I actually saw him again, but I didn't wave him down. I didn't call him over. I didn't go up to him because I had already met him the day before. But he came up to me and he remembered me from the day before. And he was like, "Hey, how's it going? Have you met any more players?" And he was asking me questions, and it was just super nice for him to come out of his way like that and to just talk to me. I mean, I was younger. I was a kid. Well, I say a kid. I was 19 at the time, but I definitely looked like a kid. Uh, it was just super nice. He's just the perfect captain, leader. He's who you want as the face of the franchise. He's one of the best things that happened to this organization, and um, it was so bittersweet seeing him back in the United Center in a Jets jersey. It was the same thing as Patrick Kane, but yeah, just an unbelievable tribute. Like I said, lots of people were emotional, including myself. It was awesome to see, and one day, 1988 are going to be in the rafters, and I can't wait for that day. Not that I'm hoping they retire anytime soon. That's also going to be a very sad day, but. Yeah, that's all for this post game. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the game. Like I said, follow me over on Twitter if you want your question featured in the video after a Hawks game. If you ask a question, chances are it's going to get featured in the video. I pretty much feature them all. Um, so yeah, make sure to subscribe. Like I said, I'm here after every single Blackhawks game. Like the video, and if you know any Hawks fans who might enjoy this show, send it on over to them because we're trying to grow a Blackhawks community here. It's small right now, but it's a lot of fun. So the more the merrier. That's all for me. I'll be back here Thursday after the Carolina game. Fingers crossed, Frank Nazar is back in the lineup. I'll see you Thursday after the Carolina game.